Good morning, children. Today's thought: where there is a will, there is a way. Children, earlier we had discussed about developing good habits. If you have started working towards developing good habits, you must have also observed that at times we tend to move away from our goal while developing a good habit. In that case, to maintain and develop a good habit, what matters the most is our willpower. And that is why the thought says where there is a will, there is a way. So, if we have strong willpower, we can achieve our goal. With this in mind, let's continue with the exercise of our first chapter. Question number 4. Read each of the following statements. Write a paragraph about adaptation with reference to each statement. There is extreme heat in deserts. Of course, when there is extreme heat, the plants and animals both have to develop themselves so that they can survive in such geographical conditions. The answer to this question is desert plants are either leafless or their leaves are like small needles or have been modified into thorns. As a result, they lose very little water by evaporation. The stem stores water and food and is therefore fleshy. The stems are green as they perform photosynthesis in the absence of leaves. Their roots penetrate deep into the soil in search of water. There is a thick layer of a waxy substance on the stems of these plants too. So these are the adaptations in plants for desert areas. And in animals, desert animals have a thick skin to prevent loss of water from the body. Their legs are long with flat and cushioned soles, as we had seen in case of camel. The nostrils are protected by folds of skin. Why is this so? To avoid loss of water. Eyelashes are also long and thick, again to avoid loss of water. And rats, snakes, spider, lizards in desert live in deep burrows during daytime. So during daytime when it is very hot on the sand, they live in deep burrows, and when at night when the temperature is little lower, then they come out and become active. Next questions. Grasslands are lush green. Diverse types of bushes and grasses are found in the grasslands. Fibrous roots of grasses prevent soil erosion. Grasses in the equatorial region are very tall. Animals like tiger, elephants, and deer can remain hidden in these grasses. So, grasslands which are lush and green, even the animals, they develop themselves accordingly. They hide themselves. The tiger has got stripes on its skin, so that matches with the long grasses. Next, insects are found in large numbers. Now, when a living thing is found in large number, it means that it must have adapted to live in different conditions. Then it must be reproducing in large numbers, isn't it? Now let us see the answer. Insects adapt to any kind of habitat. Of course, when a organism is in large number, this is the most important thing. It has to adapt in any kind of habitat. Some insects can fly. They have adaptations, light bodies, two pairs of wings which help them in flying. Some insects are also aquatic. Some stay near water bodies. Some are in deserts too. Many have abilities to camouflage with environment. Camouflage, I hope you remember. It is to match our color of skin with that of the surroundings, so that the organism is not easy to track. They can reproduce in large numbers. Due to all such adaptations, insects are found in large numbers. We hide. We cannot easily spot colorful butterflies, lizards, and grasshoppers. They get camouflaged amidst grasses, parts of plants like stem, leaves, flowers, etc. That is because their colors blend with those of their surroundings, and so they can hide. We have long ears. Long ears are seen in herbivores. Now, what is the requirement? Why have they adapted to have long ears? So that they can be alert from the attack of predator, that is a carnivore. And they can move their ears to locate the approaching prey. In case of such danger, they run away in a herd. Having long ears is an adaptation to escape from the enemies. Next, answer the following. Why is camel called ship of the desert? You have heard this sentence even in earlier classes. Camel is called the ship of desert. Now, it is because of the adaptation that the animal has developed in such harsh living conditions. Camel has got thick skin to prevent loss of water from body. Legs are long with flat and cushioned soles. Nostrils are protected by folds of skin. Eyelashes are long and thick. It can store food for 2 weeks in its hump. It can walk on the burning sand easily, providing a mode of transportation for few people in deserts. How can plants like cactus and acacia live in deserts with scarce water? Cactus and acacia have following adaptations which enable them to survive in a desert. Desert plants are either leafless or their leaves are like small needles or have been modified into thorns. They lose very little water by evaporation. The stem stores water and food and is therefore fleshy. And since the stem is green, it performs photosynthesis. There is absence of leaves, and the roots of such plants, they penetrate deep into the soil in search of water. And above all, to prevent loss of water, there is thick layer of a waxy substance on the stems. What is the interrelationship between adaptation of organisms and their surrounding? Of course, we have studied adaptation is not a sudden process. It is gradual and continuous. If you remember, it just doesn't happen in one generation. It takes place gradually in number of generations. Generation here means, for example, we use the word at home, the generation of our parents, generation of children, grandparents, and so on. So in this manner, the generation word is used here. Now, differences in structure and appearance of present day animals and animals of thousands of years ago are the adaptations that occurred according to prevailing conditions. So, we'll take examples of snowy region. Plants in snowy region are conical in shape. What happens with that shape? The snow is prevented from accumulating on the tree, and these trees have got thick bark to withstand the cold. Animals in snowy regions, they have white or silver body color. They have long thick hair on the skin. How are organisms classified? All organisms are classified into groups based on very basic shared characteristics. Organisms within each group are further divided into smaller groups. These smaller groups are based on more detailed similarities within large group. This is called hierarchy of classification. So children, with this we have completed the exercise of our first chapter. I hope you all have written the question answers that we had discussed the other day. So now complete the exercise of this chapter. Read the chapter 2 to 3 times and be ready with the completed notebooks of yours. Thank you.